Hey, Steve Mignani here doing the junkyard crawl at Bernardston Auto Wrecking in Bernardston, Massachusetts with a 1952 Mercury Monterey two-door hardtop. This is Mercury's very first two-door hardtop body. Of course, what's a hardtop? Well, no fixed door frames. The window goes down, no fixed B-pillar, the windows go down, and you have full outside access, kind of like open air motoring, but with a roof. And again, 1952, first year. Now Ford had it in the Victoria in 1951, their first hardtop. For Mercury, here it is here. Now a lot of people think 50s Mercurys, they think of James Dean, the 49, 50, and 51. Well, for 52, Mercury totally restyled the line and got away from the James Dean era car. More on that in a second. Something new beyond the two-door hardtop body for 1952 was the beginning of this interesting semi-vertical vent on the side, which was used on all Mercurys as a styling touch through 1956. You see here the word Mercury right there. And again, the rear window on this, first year for this curved rear window, and the only year, 52, for a three-piece design. For 53, this would become a one-piece rear window. But again, this curvature here, first seen in 1952. Also first year for the longer, lower, wider, almost a tail fin starting to happen. This all very much new for 1952. It's kind of cool. Look at this. On the bottom of this, a manufacturer, MRST52. Is that code at Mercury for the Monterey hardtop 1952 or a manufacturer? Not sure. We see it here too. MRST52. Interesting little things. You look at anything close enough, you see weird stuff. And beyond all of that, the deck lid on this is an attractive little affair. We can see the key was even hidden away behind this right here. And little touches like that, sort of hidden in plain sight, almost Easter eggs. Another thing that was hidden away in 1952 for the first time was a gas filler. In 1951, all the way back, it'd be on this side, behind a door. Well, for 1952, it went behind the license plate, right here. Now, the convenience of a centrally located gas cap is that you could pull up to the gas pump right or left. The hose will reach into this either way. Otherwise, if the gas door is on that side and you pull up on this side, you got to drag the hose all the way across and hope for the best. But again, let's look in the trunk of this and see what we find. And here's traces of the original, kind of a pretty aqua green, a very 50s color if ever there was one. We can see the spare tire well here where the tire would sit vertically right there and down inside, and plenty of trunk room. Now, I mentioned earlier the James Dean era. We see it right here, and that car there is a very historic car. This is Hop Up Magazine, March of 1953. This car was only 2 years old, but here's the thing on that. We notice right here that this is a very famous car. This is the Bob Hirohata Mercury, the most famous car of the 1950s, according to some people. And George Barris actually built this car. We see here, it says here, our custom cover car is another one of the outstanding creations from the Barris Custom Shops. Originally a stock 51 Mercury Club Coupe, it was taken by the owner, Bob Hirohata, to Barris and completely worked over from top one end to the other. Top was chopped, but not the same amount front to rear to achieve the tapering swoop, as Barris calls it. The top was cut 4 inches in the front and 7 inches in the rear. And at the bottom right, we can see here the prices. Barris actually invited people. Prices for a comparable job would cost as follows. Chop top $650, air scoops $100 per side, French headlights $30 each plus material per side, fadeaway fenders $200 per side, grill $300, etc., etc., etc. And believe me, a lot of people went to George Barris to have their Mercurys reworked and other cars, but this is the one and only, the first. This is the Hirohata Merc. Now, Sam Barris, George's brother, also had an iconic Mercury, but this car still exists, the Hirohata Mercury. But again, this is the old school 1949, 50, 51 body style, whole different thing for 52. Speaking of which, this is the Popular Mechanics new car facts book for 1952. And believe it or not, I ghost wrote for the Popular Mechanics new car buyer's guide in the early 1990s. I was a ghostwriter for this very thing here many, many years later. But anyway, inside, there it is right there, the new Mercurys for 1952. And it says at the top, Mercury for 52 is completely different from the 49-51. This year, for the first time, the Mercury car is equipped with a brake and clutch pedal suspended from a bracket between the instrument and dash. This feature gives more footroom for the driver and eliminates the necessity for large openings in the floor. And down the bottom right, it says here, gasoline for the 52 Mercury supplied to the gas tank through a filler tube located beneath the rear license plate, as we just saw. But again, here are the new bodies right here. for 1952. Quite a bit different from the James Dean Bob Hirohata car. Now, getting back to James Dean, if you're an American, you've seen Rebel Without a Cause. It's a great movie. James Dean, Natalie Wood, Sal Mineo, I think, the little guy there. And James Dean actually made the 5051 Mercury famous. But here's the thing, that car was bone stock. It wasn't even lowered or anything like that. So a lot of folks confuse the idea that the James Dean Mercury was the Hirohata Mercury. Not the same thing. But with that said, Rebel Without a Cause really put the 49, 50, 51 Mercury on the map. But again, we go around to the side of this thing, and here's that beautiful hardtop styling right here with the windows down. You get a full effect, almost like a convertible, well, kind of. And inside, 1952, first year for this insane magnesium dashboard. Now, of course, the jet age was in full swing. Everybody wanted to be driving a UFO or a fighter plane, and this kind of gave you the effect of sort of a freestanding pod. Flight deck instruments. It says here wipers, vent, and what is this? Whatever it is. But just basic controls here and here, which kind of still work. This one here is a detente. You can see right there, it does this or over and that way. Same with this one, get arthritis. But again, just really psychedelic stuff before psychedelics was a word. But 3-speed manual on this one. You can see right here the clutch. Now, something like 48% of all Mercury buyers in 52 went with the Merc-O-Matic. 52% went with the 3-speed stick. But this one has a little extra kick. This cable where it says overdrive right there. This is the optional overdrive. 33% of all stick cars got this. This basically was a little device on the back of the transmission, kind of like a modern day gear vendor's gear splitter, same idea. This made that 3-speed manual kind of into a 6-speed, mostly used in top gear for the highway. Put the overdrive on, RPMs come down, you're saving gas. Now under the hood of this one, let's have a peek. Shane, if you want to go around, we'll have a look at the engine bay. Now this here, 1952, was still the era of the flathead. 54, Mercury and Ford would get their own Y-block V8. So this one had a 255, which hot rodders like because Ford had a 239. This was 125 horsepower. 15 horsepower more than a 239 in a similar Ford. Again, long gone, but there's the front of that 3-speed manual tranny right there, the input shaft of the manual, the clutch linkage, all that stuff right there. 3-speed stick, manual drum brakes on this one. Of course, no disc brakes until 67, but look at this single pot with the screw-on lid. Here's the brake light switch right here. There would be a little tab coming here to activate the brakes when you hit the pedal. The lights would come on. And something kind of cool, a junkyard x-ray right here. Okay, this fender right here, there's a duct here. What is that thing? What is that? Well, let's take a peek. If we look inside here, we can see where the duct comes down below the grill, and this is where cool air is admitted into the cabin. This little cable with the arm here, you pull and push on that jet streak thingamajig inside the psychedelic dash, and this right here is where you would open or close this vent. Now, if you wanted heat, what happened? Do you light a match in front of this thing? Nope. We go to this side here, and inside the Fireball is a heater core, and on this side, a similar arrangement, but with electric motor. You hit the switch, this motor starts up, blows hot air through there and into the car. But with the duct closed, like this side, that one draws cool air from the outside for fresh air for the occupants in the car. Also something for 1952, seen for the first time, curved one-piece windshield, 49, 50, 51, nearly flat windshield with a brow, a bridge. But again, 52, Mercury's first one-piece somewhat curved windshield. So a lot to digest in this 1952 Mercury Monterey two-door hardtop. Mercury's first pillarless hardtop. It was all the rage in the early 50s. The style of a convertible, kinda, the airflow, but without the inconvenience of a fabric top. So here it is here at Bernardstown Auto Wrecking. Now, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Maggs YouTube channel. Hit the like button, share it with your friends, and by all means hit the bell so you're aware of the next video, which happens tomorrow morning.